Hello, my fellow Seekers. In this boring video, we are going to see in deeper details how CoAP manipulates the message ID field. During compression, Sheik can reduce the field size, but this may have some subtle impacts on the protocol behavior. The main purpose of the message ID field is to identify which message is being acknowledged. So the ACK message contains the same value as in the confirmable message. Of course, in reality, messages can get lost. This can be the case for the ACK message, in which case the receiver gets the message but the sender is not informed, or the confirmable message itself can be lost directly. In that case, the receiver gets nothing, but for the sender, it's the same. Nothing is received in return. To protect against these losses, the sender triggers a timer. If no acknowledgement is received after a period of time, the message is sent again, with the same message ID, of course. If the receiver has already received this ID, it will acknowledge it, but will not process the content since it is a retransmission. If the sender still receives no acknowledgement, then once again, a timer will trigger a retransmission. CoAP doubles the possible duration at each attempt. Let us see it in this fantastic animation. The sender stops the timer when it finally receives an acknowledgement or aborts the transmission after too many attempts. Now let's try to measure the duration of the worst case scenario. When the maximum number of attempts is reached, the timers are at their maximum, and the propagation delay and processing time are also maximized. The CoAP standard defines the exchange lifetime as the maximum duration of an exchange from the first sending attempt to the reception of the acknowledgement. This duration includes the time spent by the timer and the exchange itself, not with overdimensioned values. The propagation delay is set to 100 seconds and the processing time is set to 2 seconds. In total, the exchange lifetime is fixed by the standard to 247 seconds, almost 5 minutes. In other words, it means that if the receiver gets the same message ID during this duration, it will consider it as a duplicate and will acknowledge it without processing it. Knowing all that, let's go back to the compression of the message ID field. Let's say that we just send 2 bits. The rest is known. So we will have 4 possible values in hexadecimal: 1234, 1235, 1236, and 1237. At the 5th message, we send 1234 again, but the receiver will consider it as a retransmission and will not process it. For the sender, the transmission will be acknowledged. In conclusion, the key takeaway is that we must carefully select the number of bits we send to ensure that all messages are received correctly. Proper consideration of the exchange lifetime and the impact of compression on the message ID field is crucial for effective communication using the Sheik compression scheme. Wow, congratulations! You stayed until the end of the video. That was not a walk in the park, more like a trek through the dense forest of CoAP protocol. But you made it without dropping any packets or timing out. Your brain must have some serious retransmission capabilities to process all that information.